Everything you see on a standard world map is wrong. It is a mathematical lie. For years, we have been told a single story about Africa. We are told it is a continent of deserts and tribes, but that story is missing a huge piece of the puzzle. When scientists finally looked closer at one specific spot in Mauritania, West Africa, they didn't just find rocks. They found a smoking gun that changes the entire history of the human race. What they found, and why nobody talks about it, is the secret we are going to uncover today. Let's go back to June 3rd, 1965. Two American astronauts, Ed White and James McDivitt, are floating in space. They are flying over the Sahara Desert. They look out the window, expecting to see nothing but hundreds of miles of flat, boring sand. But then, they see something staring back at them. It looks like a giant bullseye. A massive, perfect circle hidden in the middle of nowhere. It is so big, you can only see the whole thing from space. They radioed back to Earth. They asked, "What is that?" The scientists at NASA were confused. They called it the Richat Structure. At first, they said, "Oh, it must be a crater. A meteor must have hit the Earth millions of years ago." But that was a lazy guess, and here is why. When a meteor hits the Earth, it melts the rock. It creates a special type of glass called shocked quartz. But when geologists actually went to the Sahara to test the ground, there was no melted glass, there was no shocked quartz. This wasn't a rock hitting the Earth from the sky. This was something pushing up from the ground. So if it's not a meteor, what is it? This is where things get strange. More than 2,000 years ago, the Greek philosopher Plato wrote a famous story about a lost empire called Atlantis. For centuries, people thought Atlantis was just a fairy tale, or they thought it was underwater in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. But Plato gave us a very specific checklist. He didn't just say it was a city, he gave us details. Let's look at the checklist. First, Plato said the city was made of circles within circles of water and land. Look at the Richat structure from above. It is perfect circles of rock and sand. Second, Plato gave us the exact size. He said the city was 127 stadia wide. If you convert that to modern math, it is about 23 kilometers. When you measure the Richat structure on Google Earth today, it is exactly 23 kilometers wide. Third, Plato said the city was rich in 3 specific colors of stone: black, white, and red. He said they built their buildings out of these colored rocks. Geologists have confirmed that the Richat structure is made of exactly those 3 distinct colors of rock: black iron, white limestone, and red clay. Is that just a coincidence? Skeptics say, but Atlantis was an island surrounded by the ocean. The Sahara is a desert, it's dry. That is true today, but it wasn't true 12,000 years ago. Science has proven that the Sahara used to be green. It was full of massive lakes and rivers. In fact, if you look closely at the sand around the eye, you find sea salt. You find skeletons of whales and shark teeth. This entire area was once underwater. But here is the detail that really gives me chills. If you look at an old map from the year 450 BC, drawn by the historian Herodotus, he actually points to this exact area in northwest Africa. And do you know what he labeled this region on his map? He wrote the word Atlantis. He literally put the name on the map in the right spot 2,000 years ago. So why don't we learn this in school? Because it breaks the timeline. History books tell us that civilization started about 6,000 years ago in the Middle East. They tell us that 12,000 years ago, humans were just simple hunters. We were cavemen. To admit that a massive, rich, complex city existed in Africa 12,000 years ago, it breaks the official story. It means human beings were advanced long before we were supposed to be. It implies that we didn't just evolve in a straight line. It implies that we rose up, built a golden age, and then something destroyed us. Plato said Atlantis was destroyed in a single day and night of bad luck. Mud and water swallowed the city. Look at the eye of the Sahara today. It looks exactly like a city that was blasted by water and buried under thousands of years of mud. NASA didn't just find a cool rock formation in 1965. They took a picture of a crime scene. Africa isn't just the place where humans were born. It might be the graveyard of our first great civilization, and we are only just beginning to dig it up. Loved the video? Like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video.